Is Bullet Train the best or worst movie of the summer? Welcome to BMT Media, and this is our Bullet Train spoiler review.
Hello and welcome back. So we just got done reviewing Bullet Train. Now we're gonna go a little bit more into spoilers. So once again, this is a spoiler review. If you haven't watched the movie, go and watch it.
Skip this for now, and then come back after you watch it.
Yes. Spoilers. You've been warned. Spoilers. Okay. So I really love this movie. I really liked it. I had so much fun with it.
You know, it's funny because I didn't think you were gonna like it.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe I didn't feel like you were laughing as much as other people around me. So I'm like, does he not like this movie?
You know what? I didn't laugh out loud. That's for sure. That's a given. But I enjoyed it. Like when they made jokes, I went, "Oh, that's clever. That's funny."
Yeah.
I just didn't laugh. I don't know. I just didn't laugh. But I enjoyed it. I really like the story components to this whole thing.
Yes, for sure.
So now we go into spoilers.
Spoilers.
Once again, you've been warned. So Sandra Bullock is in the trailer, and she's basically talking to Brad Pitt on the phone this whole time.
Yeah.
And that's why we were saying in the non-spoiler review that she's not really too much in this movie. She basically just comes out at the end.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was Sandra Bullock till the end.
Me neither. That was a good review.
And it was. If you watch the trailer, it's gonna mess that up for you.
It's gonna spoil it for you.
Yeah, spoil it for you. And I'm glad we didn't watch the trailer.
Yeah, I absolutely
because
agree.
throughout the movie, I always also like, I know this voice. Who is it? Who is it? And then it was like towards the end, Sandra Bullock.
Right. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I love the reveal. Once again, we just got done watching them in the other movie with Channing Tatum, and I really like their energy together. I wish I could have seen a little bit more of that during the movie.
Same. It was very short.
Yeah, because when they were talking to each other, I enjoyed all those moments, you know?
It was very comedic, I guess.
Mm-hmm. She was kind of his therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just even funnier because he kept bringing up his therapist, and she kept saying, like, you need to stop seeing this therapist of yours.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And Bad Bunny's in this movie for like 2 minutes.
Bad Bunny's only on for
I didn't
5
like him.
minutes.
I didn't like him in the movie.
You know, okay, what bugged me about, Bad Bunny, he's representing Latinos, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But his character was supposed to be Mexican.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not Mexican.
He's not Mexican?
No, I think he's Puerto Rican.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think that was kind of off too. I could feel his accent too. Like he was trying to, I don't know if you noticed, he was trying to say a lot of things Mexicans say. But that's also one of the things I didn't like was his storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it wasn't needed. I feel like the movie could have been fine without all his extra, I guess his mafia or narcos. I saw it kind of like narcos. I don't know if that's how you felt. But I felt like his whole narco character wasn't really necessary for the movie itself. I don't know if that's how you feel.
This is why it worried me. Part of the reason why I wanted to watch this movie was because he's supposed to play El Muerto in...
Oh, that's true.
The new Marvel movie for Sony.
Oh, and he's playing a Mexican too, right? Isn't that like the whole
don't
thing?
Know.
Okay,
I don't know.
This will be interesting.
But I will say this. I didn't like his mannerisms. Like, he just kept staring, and that was the only thing he could do for a while. I liked it when he was with his wife, because he finally, his eyebrows unclenched, and you got a better look at him being normal. And I also didn't like, and this is just me nitpicking, I didn't like the fact that his haircut was pretty much the same throughout his entire storyline, from basically the time he's a kid to the time he gets married.
I thought that was funny because it's like they're showing him as a little kid and like, oh, it's him.
That didn't work for me. I didn't like it. I thought it was stupid. The way he dies is hilarious. I love it.
I think that was like the comedic part of it, like his body just there, and he's like trying to make it seem like he's there drinking or something. I thought that was funny. Too.
No, but even before that, so he throws a knife at Brad Pitt because he thinks that Brad Pitt's the one who killed his wife.
Oh,
He throws a knife at Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt uses the briefcase to save
it.
himself, and then the knife bounces off
the suitcase.
of the suitcase and it goes right back into his heart, and then he falls and cracks his neck on the briefcase.
The suitcase.
Yeah, and I was like, "What the hell?" And then Brad Pitt says, "What the hell?" So that's such a genuine reaction, and I love that. I to me, Bad Bunny was better actor when he was dead.
Oh my goodness, you're gonna get a lot of hate for that.
I don't care.
But yeah, but see, that's why I feel like his story in general, I don't think it was needed.
It wasn't.
It wasn't needed. I think, I don't know, maybe it was just clickbait. Is that what you call it?
I feel like
Bad
some of
Bunny?
these people in the movie, some of these big name actors, they were just kind of very clickbaity. They
Yeah.
weren't necessary.
Agreed. Like, they could have gone the whole movie without revealing that it was Sandra Bullock, and I think I would have been fine with it. And then you're just like, oh, it's just the girl behind the phone.
Yeah, well, with her, I would have loved to see a lot more of her. I'm talking about like Michael Shannon, for example, and he's not an actor maybe that you're so familiar with, but I just watched the Boardwalk Empire, and he plays this FBI agent, and I just think Michael Shannon is a super powerhouse actor, and he wasn't used to his full capability in this movie.
You know, I didn't like his character, to be honest. Like, I guess like what you're saying, like him portraying that character.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. Like it
didn't work,
felt, huh? Yeah, it didn't work. It felt in the sense that they were trying to be comedic. But I feel like him as an actor, like it doesn't work, or it didn't work for me at least. I didn't like it.
He's much more of a serious actor.
Yeah, and I think him coming out when they revealed who he was, I was kind of like, I wasn't expecting him. And like they were trying to use some parts of the comedic part, but I didn't like it. I wasn't feeling that comedic part from him. It was just like they were trying too hard, in my opinion, with him.
Yeah, and they show him in the trailer, which is once again a reveal that I feel they should have saved for the movie. But I feel like he could have been cast as somebody else, you know? Yeah. Once again, the whole Russian coming in here and becoming the mob boss of a Japanese, of the Yakuza, basically. That was weird. Yeah. It just doesn't work for me. Same. Like if you're gonna, and I understand it, everybody has their own mafias and their own underworld. Italians with the Italian mafia, the mob. Yeah. Then you have the Russians and their mafia, and then the Japanese and the Yakuza. It just doesn't work for me when you bring in another element from another culture and you plug it in, and you kind of make them the main head of this supposedly Japanese structured mob, mafia, basically. Yeah,
mafia thing.
So that he didn't work for me. Once again, I love him. I think he's fantastic. I just didn't like him in this movie.
Agree. I felt exactly the same.
And then we get to the brothers, the twins.
Oh. They're my favorite part. I really enjoyed them.
Yes, but what's his name? Tyree? The guy from Eternals? Lemon? Yeah.
Lemon and Tangerine.
He could not hold that accent.
Yeah, he couldn't.
It was horrible. He was coming in and out of it so bad. Yeah, Brian Tyree Henry.
And I was like, wait, didn't he have an accent like a few seconds ago?
I didn't even know. So we can't figure out what they were. Australian, New Zealand,
I think it's British.
South African.
I'm only saying British because in the scene where they were showing them as young kids, they were watching Chelsea play. So I'm thinking, okay, they have to be British because they're like Chelsea fans.
Well, it could have been from like South Africa or someplace like that that's been colonized by.
I just made a connection like, oh, Chelsea. I'm okay there. British.
Yeah, that's been colonized by Great Britain or whatever. I felt a lot more Australian and New Zealandish because of Aaron Taylor Johnson. He was so over the top with his accent, and I'm so scared because he's supposed to play this character in an upcoming Sony Marvel movie called Kraven the Hunter, and he's a Spider-Man sort of rival.
Ooh,
and he's basically this I think he's Russian or Czechoslovakian, something like that.
Oh.
and he's basically, since he's a hunter, I guess he's tired of like hunting, other game, and he's like, now I want to hunt Spider-Man, or I want to hunt men or something like that. And but once again, it's gonna be a character that does have an accent. Yeah. Okay. And this is the second time I've seen Aaron Taylor Johnson with an accent, and it doesn't work. I thought it was funny, but I felt like he was more making fun of the accent than actually from that place of wherever he was trying to be from.
I guess. I mean, I thought maybe it was a little bit over the top, but I just felt like he was just adding a little bit more of like, the different accents that, well, like I said, I thought it was British accent. You know how there's different accents?
Yeah.
And I thought he was just like doing a certain one. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny.
I like their chemistry.
Yeah.
And one thing that really works for me is the storyline in the movie. So basically it's about fate. Everybody is just has their own little storyline, and they're all brought together by fate, basically. Yeah. So each one of the assassins does something to piss off Michael Shannon's character, who's the main boss, and he brings them all into this train to kind of wipe them out, which once again, this is a bad plan. Logically speaking, It doesn't work. I feel like at any point there's certain things that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
At some point, I think Aaron Taylor Johnson is on the back of this bullet train, and he like breaks the glass, and it doesn't make sense to me because these trains are supposed to go like really fast.
Okay, yeah, that's the scene I'm talking about. When he's like outside, like he jumps on top of it and he like breaks it just by punching the glass.
I can't buy that. Like the whole point of these trains is that they go at this immensely fast speed, and I just can't buy anybody holding on to the train, let alone breaking the glass to them. And then once again, the moment something breaks, I feel like alarms should be going off. Police should be going to the stations.
Yeah. Especially, like, to me, it looked like a super fancy train. Like, I don't think we have trains like that here. Yeah. So I'm like, where's the security? Where's everything? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
it didn't make sense for sure.
And so something happens in this movie where I couldn't buy it because every single one of the people or the customers who were on the train at some point, they started leaving. And so for me, it's like, there's no way that this train is completely empty except for the main characters. But then Michael Shannon makes the call. He's like, oh yeah, I bought out all the seats.
That's what at some point in time, I was like, wait, how is the train empty? Like, that makes no sense whatsoever.
But even then, the workers, where are the workers?
Where are the workers? Like, they randomly put like, I think one of the guys was like rooming up the water bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like really random because he was like the only guy there and just randomly.
The guy collecting the tickets.
The guy collecting the tickets.
The girl with the cart. Mm-hmm. So there's like 3 workers in this whole train, this massive train.
How many, what do they call it? How many carriages? Like 8, I think they said.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. I agree.
Yeah, so for me, once again, logically speaking, this movie doesn't work. But because I really enjoyed the tie-in and how Michael Shannon's character brought them all together, and the fact that we get the reveal of he thinks that Brad Pitt is the one who killed his wife, and it's not Brad Pitt. He's like, dude, I'm just
covering for this guy who was sick with like stomach flu or something.
And who's the guy who actually killed his wife?
Ryan Reynolds, of course.
That was hilarious.
I know. I wish I could have seen a little bit more of him, to be honest.
Yeah. I and that's part of the reason why I wanted to stay a little bit longer, because I thought maybe in the post-credit scene we would see something more of him. Yeah, of him like kind of teasing Brad Pitt, like, you got in trouble for me or whatever, something, you know. But no, he doesn't even say anything.
No, it's just like 3 seconds, right? Just his face.
Yeah, it's just his face. And then Zazie Beetz. So I don't understand why she's in this movie. It doesn't make sense to me. She was the
and I think that's also what confused me with the whole son, right? Like, he obviously, like... So this is what I understood. So she was hired originally to kill the son.
I think know.
That was, like, the plot of it.
Oh, okay.
So that's why he died with the poison.
Yeah.
That's why she was on the train, because that suitcase was her payment for killing him.
Yeah.
And because he even admitted it to Brad Pitt's character. Oh yeah.
But she's also intertwined with the Bad Bunny storyline.
Yeah, I didn't get that part. I think that's why I felt like I missed something at the beginning,
Mhm.
because it just kind of made no sense why she was even at the wedding, or why she wanted to kill everyone there, and then
Mhm.
why Brad Pitt was even at his wedding too. Did
Yeah.
you catch that?
I no. I mean, I think once again it's just another excuse to have somebody like Bad Bunny in the movie or somebody like Zazie Beetz in the movie. And she wasn't necessary in the film. I don't like the fact that she said bitch every other word.
I thought that was funny.
I found that super fucking annoying. I didn't like it. So she wasn't necessary to be in the movie. Michael Shannon shouldn't have been in this movie. Sandra Bullock, I feel like should have been more in this movie. You feel like she shouldn't have been in this movie?
I mean, I like Sandra Bullock, so I'm glad that she was in it. But
Mhm.
I feel like her reveal wasn't really necessary. Like, I would have been fine without knowing that it was her or whoever it was.
So because we only hear her voice throughout the entire movie, I wanted that reveal. I wanted to know who is this, because I felt and I knew like this is somebody important, somebody that we know, and sure enough, it turns out
Yeah,
to be
Sandra
Sandra
Bullock.
Bullock. So Michael Shannon's character is the one that brings everybody together, and the reason he brings them together is because his wife dies. And part of the reason why his wife dies is because his son is a screw up, and I guess his wife was on her way to go and bail him out of
Bail him
jail or
out,
something
yeah, I
like
guess
that.
for like the 20th time or whatever.
Right. And so he hires the brothers to bring the his son in. But it just doesn't make, why hire another assassin when you have two assassins already bringing him in? Just kind of have them finish him off.
Because I think they mentioned it. Okay, so how it tied in was he told his wife not to go bail the son out, but
Mhm.
she still went. And
Yeah.
then that's when Ryan Reynolds' character
Mhm.
ran her over and she died.
Mhm.
And the reason why the Michael Shannon
Mhm.
character wasn't with his wife
Mhm.
was because the Tangerine and Lemon, the twins, did that whole, I think it was Bolivian, like they killed a whole bunch of
His squad.
his squad. So
Yeah.
he had gone to Bolivia to see what was going on.
Mhm.
So he, I guess, also wanted revenge on the twins, because if it wasn't for the twins, he wouldn't have left his wife alone
But
to go bail out the son.
why not have them kill his son and then have somebody else kill them instead of hiring?
Maybe because he won't, I don't know, just like making fun of them, or kind of like making them suffer a bit. Like, I'm gonna kill my son, but I'm gonna make you think that you guys did something wrong, and I'm gonna make you guys shit your pants for a bit. I don't know.
maybe like psychological warfare.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I can buy that. Once again, it just doesn't work for me. If you think too much about this movie, it falls apart.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't
Yeah,
work.
I know. That's why I'm like, certain things just didn't make any sense to me too, and I'm just like, okay, it was like a whole spin around circle for what? I don't know. With like twins, at least, I would say. But they were my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, this is a very character driven movie where if you like the characters, the movie's gonna work for you.
Yeah.
Despite the logic flaws and the plot holes and everything that's doesn't work in this movie, you know. Aside from all this, how did you feel about the Brad Pitt character? Now that we can talk about spoilers,
I really liked his character.
Mhm.
I think you mentioned it that, you know, in his other films he's like all suave and everything, and in this film he was just more down to earth. He felt like he had bad luck, and I think those were kind of one of the funniest scenes where they were showing all his bad luck, and I thought that was pretty funny. He's very, like you mentioned, zen, and just him playing into the whole, oh, I'm seeing my therapist and I have to not be angry, and he refuses to use a gun, which is even funnier. I think I enjoyed that part of Brad Pitt.
See, and that's one of the things that where if you think about it too much, it doesn't work. Because he mentions it at a certain point where he's like, I don't even do this type of work. I'm just filling in for someone, for Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
I just do smash and grabs or something like that, where he just steals stuff. He doesn't kill people. He's not an assassin. He doesn't do that type of stuff. So the fact that he's kind of thrown into this situation is kind of a fish out of water situation. Which really worked for me and I loved. And once again, seeing him be a normal person, he feels like a normal person. Yeah. But it also pushes me into these other little parts that don't work, like when he's fighting against Lemon in the movie. There's no way in hell that these people aren't watching these two beat the living hell out of
I know
each
not
other.
doing anything about it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's also part of the comedic part because the little old lady was like telling them to shut up the whole time, and they were like pretending like.
Yeah, but at some points they're like standing up and like they're half a step away from suplexing each other in the middle of this train car with people all around them. Later on, when him and Aaron are fighting, and I guess what are they called, waitresses or whatever?
I don't even know. I was gonna say catty girls, but that's not even that. I'm not sure what they're called.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're called, but the girl who works there, who carries the cart, and they're basically beating each other up in the kitchen area, and tearing everything apart. By the way, they punch holes in everything.
Yeah.
And she walks in there like she pretends like nothing's wrong.
I agree too. I was like, is she gonna say something about those drawers being slammed in and broken everywhere?
Brad Pitt is like a bloody, like you can see blood on his face. Yeah. And then once again we see it later on with Lemon, where he's like, oh no, I have a little bit of blood on me in the beginning of the movie. He's like, oh, that's okay, I'll just cover it up. I just want people to see my type. That was funny. But then later on in the movie, after he gets done fighting Brad Pitt, he's covered in blood and he's just walking around willy-nilly. Yeah. And he puts on the jacket. Here's the thing. So this is once again steeped in Japanese style and feeling. But the Japanese characters are so minimal in this movie. This is a lot more about basically, the more well-known American actors.
I agree.
Yeah, and that's why I wasn't too happy with the fact that the main boss is, Michael Shannon. Yeah. The Japanese elements that we saw, I love those parts so much. I wish we could have gotten a little bit more of it.
Yeah, I agree. I think I felt the same way with the whole Japanese aspect of it. It was lacking, and I would have wanted to see more. I like the culture and everything. They had. I mean, I don't know if they went to film the movie there, but they had a lot of good aspects of like the train stop and the machines and things like that you see at a train stop. So I would have also liked a little bit more of that and the characters as well. Yeah.
Is there anything else that you wanted to add? So once again, now that we've talked about it, we've done the non-spoiler review. We talked about it more in depth. Once again, logically speaking, a lot of things don't work for me. Like in the end, when you get all the Yakuza guys on top of the train, I feel like all of them should have been flying off.
Yeah, how did they even survive that?
That
was like my thing. Like, there's no way anybody survives that train crash.
Yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson at some point once again breaks through the back of this train car. There's no police inside. Apparently, you can do whatever you want in Japan and nothing happens. So logically speaking, a lot of things don't work. But once again, if you're just going in here for a little bit of comedy, a lot of talking fast and quick, witty jokes, and a little bit of action, then I think you're going to have fun with this movie.
Yeah. And you know what? We didn't even speak about Joey King's character. And I think to some extent she was in the movie longer than most characters. But I also don't feel like her character was necessary, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I don't know how you feel, but I don't think it was necessary.
Yeah, and she played a very important role in this movie.
She did.
Because it turns out that she's the daughter of Michael Shannon, the sister of the guy who dies, who Tangerine and Lemon pick up. And I like the fact that she kept kind of faking and pretending to be just this lost girl who's being used as a hostage. And yeah, she was innocent. And I like that, but I think they did it a little bit too much.
Yeah, I agree.
And she didn't really have much to do more than that.
Yeah, I mean, the big reveal was like she wants to kill her father. But I agree. I think they did it too much of her like playing the innocent role. And then like I think the two Japanese important characters also weren't given that much shine as the American characters, and I feel like they also played a big role in the overall storyline.
That's just it. I feel like they were supposed to play a big role, but we didn't really see much of that. They were in it like in the first 5 minutes, I think, in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
We see these Japanese characters in the film.
Oh, they're the opening scene,
Yeah,
And they're
they're an
speaking in
opening. Yeah,
Japanese.
but and then a little bit later on in the movie, we see a little bit more of them. But other than that, they're just kind of almost plot devices used by the other actors, the more well known
Yeah,
actors. And I wish I could have gotten a little bit more of a reverse on that.
I agree. When the movie began and it was in Japanese, I was kind of excited because I thought, oh, so is there going to be a lot of Japanese monologue between the characters? This is going to be interesting. And maybe because I went in thinking that the movie overall wasn't what I expected and it didn't meet my expectations.
Yeah, so the movie opens up with Andrew Koji and his son is in the hospital because he was pushed off a building.
Off a building.
And then his father is, I'm gonna try not to butcher this name, Sanada. Hiroyuki Sanada, I think. I really liked his character.
Me too.
I thought he was such a badass.
Same.
I wish I could have seen more of him.
With his sword? Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that part. That's why I felt like they should have been given a bigger role, in my opinion. I would have loved to see more of them.
Yeah, definitely. It adds a little bit more of a serious tone to this very funny film, or this jokey film, and I appreciated them. I felt like they were a nice, almost palate cleanser to the rest of the characters. Once again, bringing that gravitas to this film that I think was, very much needed. Unfortunately, we just don't get too much of them.
Same, we don't, and I wish we could have seen more. And I think they do play an important role to some extent because he, or the dad, wants revenge with the Michael Shannon character, correct? So I think that plays a big role too because it shows his side of the story towards the end of the movie. And I feel like maybe we could have gotten a little more from that storyline as opposed to like not so important parts like the Bad Bunny story.
Yeah, I feel like you could have definitely cut some things out of this movie. It was 2 hours and 6-7 minutes, I think.
Yeah, I think 2 hours 9 minutes.
Yeah, you could have easily cut out 20 to 15 minutes of this movie, and it would have been just fine. Cut out the Bad Bunny part, wasn't necessary. Cut out the Zazie B part, doesn't work. The King, I don't know about her, because I kind of like the payback at the end of
Joey King, her character.
Yeah, the Joey King. Yeah, I like the fact that Tyree ends up falling into the water, and then he ends up going and getting inside a truck with tangerines.
Oh yeah, tangerines.
And so it's kind of like poetic justice at the end, and then he kind of just runs her over, and it felt very scary movie type comedy. But it worked for me because once again we get the background of Tangerine and Lemon and where they come from, and I like the fact that it was poetic justice to me.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was one of the saddest parts for me, or what I felt like hit my heart the most was when Lemon and Tangerine, or Tangerine died and Lemon was just left there.
But that also goes into part of the things that don't work for me, which is he kind of just overlooks the fact that Brad Pitt killed his brother, and he's kind of like, they kind of talk about it a little bit.
Yeah,
but they do end up working together, and then he even throws a little joke in there. Oh, I found a new brother. And Brad Pitt's like, really? Like, no, motherfucker.
I mean, I guess, but technically, Brad Pitt didn't kill him.
I mean, you could make an argument for that.
I would say it was Joey King's character's fault.
Which is why he runs her over.
Which is why he runs her over.
Yeah, but I feel like they should have said that in the movie. Brad Pitt should have been like, no, this little girl lied. Or this girl lied. And she's the reason why he's dead. And that would have worked a little bit more for me. But, I mean, overall, it's not enough to derail the movie for me. Once again, I gave it an 8.5. I think it's my favorite movie of the summer so far. I think it's tied with Doctor Strange. You gave it a 6, so
I gave it a 6.
Lower than Nope. Is it high? Let me ask you this: did you like it more or less than Thor?
Oh my! No comment.
No, I want to know.
I did not like Thor at all. I probably give Thor a 2, to be honest.
Okay, so you like this movie more than Thor?
Oh, of course, way more. I think for me, it's this movie and then Nope.
Nope is ahead of it.
Yeah. Okay. Nope is ahead of it for me, at least.
Okay. I feel like if you take the comedy of this movie and you put it in Thor and the seriousness of this movie and you put it in Thor, Thor works better.
Agree.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to talk about Thor right now, but
no, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. I'll hold off, but I agree.
Yeah, and if let us know in the comments if you guys want. We can do a spoiler discussion about this. Maybe on Sunday. Once again, we'll go in the comments. We'll reply to the comments and we'll let you guys know. And we'll keep you guys updated on that. Is there anything else you want to say about the movie?
No, I guess it was very enjoyable.
Would
loved
you
the
recommend
comedic
this
part.
movie?
Yeah, I would. I would recommend it. I think it's a good movie to go watch if you want to forget about life and just laugh a little.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, it was comedic. I enjoyed the comedic part. That was one of my favorite parts.
Would you recommend people wait for this movie to come out on cable, on HBO or whatever, or Hulu? Or do you think they should go watch this in the theater?
I think they should go watch it in theaters.
I absolutely agree with you.
For sure.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, subscribe. Let us know if you guys want to do that spoiler discussion on Sunday or Saturday. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.